Hey, I'm Jeff with AvidMax, and today I've got with me the Fishpond Nomad guide net. Wanted to show you a couple of the features of this net and then talk to you maybe a little bit about nets in general as well. So as you can see, standing here, I'm about 6 foot tall. Hits me right there kind of at the middle of the chest. This is a pretty good sized net for me. It is right around 48 inches tall, and the basket on the net here is right at a foot, so it's 12 inches deep there. The net is made out of the nice rubberized material, which is great. You're going to want to make sure you get a net with this kind of material. It's the best for it. It's going to resist snagging all sorts of things, whether it is a fish's fin or as you're pulling the hook out of its mouth or whatever. This isn't going to catch those hooks nearly as easy as kind of the old school net material. This net is actually, the rest of it, the body and the handle here, is made out of a pretty cool material as well. It's a composite fiberglass carbon fiber material, which gives it a few properties that really help this net become a little bit more versatile than just scooping up a fish. One of the things that having it made out of that material does is it makes it a really lightweight net. And one of the advantages of that is if you're out there in the river, the lake, whatever, and you drop this net, it is gonna float, just gonna sit right there on the top of the water for you. So especially if you're in a lake, you could even just toss this down right next to you and it's not gonna float away. But again, in the river, even if you do happen to drop it for just a minute, it's not gonna float away from you, which is just a really great feature. However, even though it's light, it is also a really sturdy net. And that's one of the great things that these nets use as kind of a double feature, is you're not just going to be having it on your back as you wade through the river waiting to use it as a fish comes up. It's also kind of a great little wading staff there as well. So you can just hold it as you're walking through the river, and it's plenty strong enough to kind of hold you up, keep you on 2 feet, because I'm sure all of you are like me and have taken a few wrong steps in your time out there on the river and gone in quite a bit deeper than you wanted to. One of the other great things about this net is the river coat finish that they put on the handle here. So it's kind of a rubberized paint that they put on here, which just gives it a really great, still firm grip as it gets wet, which is kind of one of the primary uses of a net there. You also see on the river coat finish that's painted on here, it also has a ruler all along the edge that's going to go up to 27 inches. So when you land that great fish and you want to be able to prove to people just how long it was, you'll be able to do that real easy with the ruler here that's on there. So we've got a couple of different things that we've shown you about these nets that make them a little bit more versatile. You can use them to measure things, you can use them as a walking stick, but some of the other great features of these nets, and all nets in particular, is just how to land the fish the right way. So after you scoop your fish up that's in the water, there's kind of that propensity to just hold the fish then up out of the water. But one of the great things about a net is you can just leave the fish in the water as you're dealing with it, and it's going to help keep the fish a lot healthier as it's just able to stay in there. It's going to calm it down and relax it. But you can also take your time. So if you've got your fish there in the water, you can spend a little bit of time getting your camera out if you want to take that picture. You can take your fly out as it's sitting there in the water, and it's really just going to be a lot healthier for the fish as it gets to stay there in the water as you're dealing with it. One of the other great things about these nets and the basket they have there is as you're fishing, you could just slide it right through. You know, if I had my waders on, slide it right through your wading belt. And since they float, they can kind of sit right there in the river as you've got it then through your wading belt. And you can then use this just as a little stripping basket. So as you're letting all your line out and you're stripping it in there, that way when you hook into your fish, your line isn't wrapped around your leg once, it's not sunk to the bottom, especially if you're using sinking line, maybe caught on a rock down there, and then you'll lose a fish because you weren't able to keep track of your line very well. Of course, one of the other great uses for the basket, on your way out, I think we've all been in that spot where you're hiking into a river that's had a little bit too much traffic going into it and people have lost trash all along the way. This is just another great way. Throw stuff in the net as you're on your way out and pack out more than you even came in with. All in all, if you're looking for one net and this is the size net that you want, you know, it's going to be a great size for a little bit of a wading staff there, deep enough to catch some pretty good trout or whatever fish you're going for there. And I think you're going to be hard pressed to find a better net than this. For more fly fishing and outdoor related videos, subscribe to our AvidMax YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you out there.